Hey guys, what is up? Welcome back to the Caden Games YouTube channel. My name is Caden, and today we will be learning about if statements in Roblox Studio. This is the 6th video in my Roblox beginner scripting tutorial series, so if this is the first video you've seen from me and you're new to scripting in Roblox, I'd recommend you watch the full playlist, which will be linked below. So let's get started. Before we begin, make sure you do have your properties, your explorer, and your output all open for our convenience. You can do that by going up here to view and opening them separately, but you should know how to do that because if you've watched the full series, we've gone over it multiple times. Let's insert a script inside script service for us to work with, and let's get started. So we learned arithmetic last video, so let's make a variable called apples. We'll set it to 3. Let's make a variable called oranges, and we'll set that to 2. And okay, so what is an if statement? An if statement is a statement that checks if something is true or false and will run code accordingly. So let's create an if statement. So how you create an if statement is first by typing the word if, followed by the condition that you're checking. So let's do if apples, and okay, so here there are multiple things you can type. You've got equals. Never use equals in an if statement, because if you use 1 equals, then you're trying to set a value. If you're using 2, you're evaluating a value. So let's do if apples equals. So that's checking if apples is equal to something specific. So if we typed an int here, so apples is equal to 3 at the top of the script here. So let's do if apples equals 3, and then this will save you a lot of time. If you just hit enter, then should show up and end should show up. If it doesn't, then what you can do is go back up to the top here and just type then, hit enter, and yeah, it does the same thing. But so if apples equals 3, then let's print success. That, yeah, okay. And then let's play the game, and we get success in the output because apples is actually equal to 3. So if we tried setting it equal to something that it's not, here, let me just open. Okay, so it's right here we're saying if it's equal to 3. What if we set that to 10? And obviously that's going to be false. So what is going to happen when we run the game? I'm just going to switch to run because it works better. Nothing's going to print in the output. And you might ask why that is. Well, you probably know, but it's because apples is not equal to 10. And if it's false, then it's not going to run the code. Something else you could do is if apples plus, we'll use some arithmetic. We'll do if apples, actually let's do minus oranges is equal to is kind of what I like to say. If apples plus oranges is equal to 1, or minus oranges, yeah it is, it's equal to 1, then it should print success. So let's see, run the game, and there you go, you get success in the output. And that is because apples minus oranges, or 3 minus 2, is actually equal to 1. So you can do that. You can also, when you're working with integers in if statements, you can use greater than or less than, and you can get those by pressing shift with your period for the greater than and shift with your comma for the less than. So let's do if apples minus oranges. Actually, I'm just going to get rid of this arithmetic. Let's just do if apples is greater than 1, then print success. And since apples is 3, it is greater than 1, so that is why we got success in the output. And if we try going back to our script here, and we do if it's less than 1, we are going to get, I don't even need to run this, we're not going to get anything in the output. If we set this is greater than 3, let's try that, and we get nothing in the output. You might be wondering why that is. It's because it's checking if the value is greater than 3, not if it is 3. So if the value is 4, it would print success. But since the value is 3, it's not greater than 3. You can also do less than, so we could do if apples is less than 3, and that's also going to not run anything because apples is 3, it's not less than 3. So let's put it back to equals equals. So it will print success. Okay, something else you can do is do or oranges equals, let's do 3. So or, the keyword or, means that if one of the conditions is true, it's going to run this. So as you can see up here, oranges is equal to 2, not 3, and apples is equal to 3. So this side over here is going to be true. This side over here is going to be false. So let's see what happens. And it still prints success because one of the conditions are true. Okay, so that's what the or does, and you can put tons of conditions here. So we could also do or true is equal to true. Or we could do or true is equal to false, and it would still run because you can put as many conditions there as you want, as long as there's or in between them. And one other keyword you can use is and. So if you do if apples equals 3 and oranges equals 3, we should get nothing in the output. And that is because it's checking if both of the conditions are true, and if one of them's false and one of them's true, or one of them's false and a bunch of them are true, it's not going to run because all of them need to be true. So let's do if apples equals 3 and oranges equals 2, and let's see what happens now. And you are right, it does print success in the output. That is what or and do. Okay, so there's two other things that you can do with, or two main things that we're going to go over that you can do with if statements. I don't know why I made so many new lines. Okay, so what you also can do is go back to the very front of the line here. Make sure it's on the same level as the if and the end. And let's type else and print not success. Okay, so else is saying that if this condition up here is equal to false, it's going to run this code. And if it's equal to true, it's going to run this code. So since apples is equal to 3 and oranges is equal to true, it's going to print success. But if we change oranges to 3, obviously both of them aren't true. One of them's true, one of them's false. See, it ran the code not success, print not success, which is in the else statement. So there's one more thing that you can do here, which is called else if. So if we do else if apples equals 3, then let's run this code. So what is else if compared to if and else? So else is saying that if it's false, it's going to run the code inside the else statement. Else if is saying if this condition up here isn't true, it's going to move down the chain to this else if, and if this else if is true, it's going to run this code. So what's going to happen here is it's going to print not success, which doesn't really make sense anymore. So let's change this to just print B, and we'll change this to print A. Okay, so we're saying if apples is 3 and oranges is 3, which obviously that's going to be false. So it's not going to run this code here. It's not going to print A. And it's going to move down the chain to this else if. And since this else if is true, it should print B. And I was correct. It did print B in the output. So that is how that works. You can add as many else ifs onto the chain as you want. So let's do another one. Do else if, actually we'll just do the exact same. We'll do else if apples equals 3, then print C. And let's run, and wait a minute, it only prints B. Okay, so it does this because it's checking the chain. And if one of the conditions is true here in the else if, it's not going to do any of the other ones, if that makes sense. If it doesn't, leave me a comment, because I do reply to all my comments. So why it didn't do that is because else if means that it's going to go down this chain here, and if one of them's true, then it's not going to run any of the other ones, but it's going to run the first one that's true, that's at the closest to the top of the chain of else ifs, and you can have as many as you want here. So that is basically how if statements work in Roblox. If you do have any questions, make sure you do leave them in the comments, and I do reply to all my comments. If this was entertaining or useful, please make sure you do like and subscribe to the Kid and Games YouTube channel, and I will see you next time.